But when I said it, when I I was shitting bricks. I'm not gonna lie. Like I
Yeah.
was nervous because, like I said, I'm my biggest critic. Like in my mind, the only thing I kept thinking about was, oh my gosh, what the fuck are people gonna say? How are people gonna feel? Are people gonna judge me? Are people gonna talk shit about me? You
Right.
know, I I don't like putting myself out there.
Welcome to another episode where we have a real conversation. I'm your host KD. Today we have a special guest, content creator. She's an author. She does music. Welcome, Goddess T. How you doing?
Hi, I'm good. How are you today?
I'm good. I'm good. Let's get straight to it. So, we had a conversation and we talked about bullying, right?
Mhm.
And people talk about bullying like it ends after school. Did it stop for you?
Um, for me, I was bullied. So I was bullied in school. I was bullied in church, and I was
Mm.
also bullied in my family.
Okay, I
So
can relate
for
to that.
me, it didn't really end until I started not caring, you know? I started not letting it control me, or like I just stopped caring what people say. So it doesn't end. You just have to have strength in you, in yourself, in your life. Like you can't let in no matter what anyone says, you can't let that bother you. And that's what I
Right.
had to learn when I got older. Like, I don't care what nobody say. And can I cuss?
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
Okay, cause I I really I didn't give a fuck what nobody said. I was me
Right.
and I was gonna be me regardless. And I like being unique. I like being different. I like not being like anybody else in the crowd. So for
Mm.
me, like bullying stopped when I changed my mindset because I really just stopped giving a fuck.
Yeah. I get it. I get it. Yeah. I can relate. I can relate to that because, um, I was never bullied in church, but I was bullied in school.
Hmm.
I wouldn't say I was bullied by family members, but I did kind of feel the difference how they treated me with others. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? So like, for me, when I was bullied for wearing the same clothes every week.
Mm.
Then and me having a speech impediment too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you don't mind sharing, what was the things that you was getting bullied for when you was in school?
So mostly it was because of my weight. Because I was the chubby girl. Everybody loved was stayed being called fat. But
Okay.
I was always like the cool. I was always super like I, everybody knew of me, but for the most part. But I
Okay.
was always basically bullied for my weight. Even in all aspects, like as far as for church, school, family, that's basically what I was bullied about a lot. And it made me, and it sounds shitty, but it made me gain character and it made me love. I hated myself at first, but
Yeah.
it made me love myself more because I'm different. Like I'm
Right.
different. It ain't nobody else like me in this world. And that's what I
Right.
loved about, that's what I had to learn to love about myself. Can't nobody be
Mm.
me. I can only be
I feel
myself.
you. I feel you. Nah, nah, same here. Nah, same here. I ain't gonna lie, like me being bullied, like it definitely like um it definitely matured me. Definitely it helped me to develop thick skin. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? It helped me to take constructive criticism well. Cause I'm so
Mhm.
used to being bullied. I ain't gonna lie, like some of it that I feel was true. Like the way how I was dressed and the way how I was looking, there was some truth to that. So, you know what I'm saying? So that's good that you got the positive side of it, of that.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Now you said church bullied you, right? So that was the only thing that was talking about was your weight.
Um, it was now with church, it wasn't necessarily honed on my weight. Um, and it was always the church kids. But I felt like I was being bullied at church because I had a light that nobody else had. Um, I feel like a lot of the kids that I was around, like, I don't feel like they were too much happy with themselves or happy with their
Yeah, it'd be
life
like that.
or, and when you see somebody like that has a calling and has a light that can't nobody dim, you gonna try to break that person down as much as you can. So it wasn't I used to get like when it came to church, I can remember the kids, like they used to have the kids go into like a separate area. And
Mhm.
when they're having church, they had the kids go to like another building. And it wasn't no adults in the building. Let's just put that out there.
Okay.
So they put the kids all in one like little area that was for like it was the hall where we ate at or whatever.
Yeah.
So they put the kids in there to play while the adults had church and stuff. And I can remember us playing games and, they'll play games like, oh, let me give you a frog or it was a one game where they're trying to beat your ass until you get a bruise on your arm or when you get a frog. Do you remember when people used to call like if somebody punch you and they give you a frog?
Mm-mm.
It's basically like a big ass knot on your arm.
Okay.
So it was they used to do shit like that. It was torture. It was literally torture.
Wow.
Like we'll play games and it'll be like, oh, if you don't do this right, then you get a frog on your arm. Or
And you ain't never like tell your parents or your guardian like, hey, this was going on at church. Like,
no, because I was always an outsider. And when you're an outsider, when you're young and you're an outsider, the only thing that you really want to do is fit in. You feel me? Like
yeah,
you
I
want to
feel
be like, and I'm in church. So for me, like, damn, like, I'm like, man, I'm in church. I'm getting bullied. Like, what am I
damn.
to do? Like, I want to be I wanna be cool with these people because I
Got it.
was a loving kid, like, I loved people, I've always loved people. So for me, it was like, I just wanna fit in,
I did it.
I just wanna be cool with these people, but they
I did it.
literally it'd just be random shit like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, we're gonna give you a frog," or different things like that. It was weird, it was
How
crazy.
old were you? How old were you when you was going through this?
I started going to church because I grew up in the church, my and this was on my mom's side because I didn't really hang out with my dad's side like that.
Okay.
But my grandpa was in church, he was a deacon, my grandma was a usher, I was on the choir, and these kids that were bullying me were on the choir. Not all of them, but the kids that I hung around, that was there
Yeah.
often and they
Okay.
family was deep in the church. Like they were the families who were deep in the church and the little kids, they kids were the ones who was doing the bullying bad.
No. Okay.
And so I was probably about I was in from I would say third grade-ish up until
Mhm.
like almost getting into high school. Probably about 13, even younger than that. That's when it kind of started.
Oh, okay. You know, those be the ones. You know what I'm saying? Like the people who really into the church, their kids. You know what I'm saying? I don't
Mhm.
know. That's yeah. That's damn. That's crazy. And like, you don't mind me asking, like, why you like? Did you try to fight back? Did you tell them to stop, or you was just afraid of the outcome would be if you stand up for yourself?
Shoot, I was outnumbered.
Oh,
Like, I was outnumbered. I was literally, like, the only kid who was really out there doing them. Like, I was cool with a lot of the other kids, like, that weren't, like, deeply embedded in their family wasn't deeply embedded in the church, excuse me. But, um, for me, I was so young. Like for me, it didn't click to me. At that point, I felt
yeah.
like I was the problem a little bit. Like, damn, am I doing something wrong? Like,
Right. Right.
and I was just being me. But they didn't like that. When you different or when you stand out or when you all by yourself, like people want to find a way to fuck with you. Just to
Oh yeah,
bring you
for sure.
down.
And that's what I learned too. Because I was picked on a lot, especially in my high school years. I mean, it's a lot of fights. Cause sometimes I ask myself like, damn, what did I do to these people? You know what I'm saying? Is it
Mhm.
and looking back at it, sometimes like it's unfortunate that they use people like me and you as punching bags. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Because other things they going through at home. So okay, this is an easy target. Or
Mhm.
sometimes it'll be like, okay, he or she shouldn't be in a popular group because look how they dress. Oh you oh damn, you left?
Oh, my
Oh,
bad. Sorry.
okay. Yeah, some people be like, um, yeah, like, that person shouldn't be in a popular group and they shouldn't be around us. So they do a little different things, like I said, just to, just to fuck with you in that sense. And I
Mhm.
ain't gonna lie, it took me a long time. I think after high school for me to forgive those people. Cause
Mhm.
sometimes like not trying to be funny or nothing like that, but the same ones who be bullying you when you're an adult now, you start hearing things about them. When you see them, they don't look too well. You know what I'm saying? And I'm a firm believer, God don't like ugly, even though they and they also too to show them grace. They're kids. We was kids at one point, so I just can't just be like, they going through because what they did to me. Like, nah, like it's just unfortunate that they learned that behavior from somebody else. They might not have somebody in their household to teach them from right from wrong. So I had to show them some grace. So
Mhm.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And what I want to ask you is like, did bullying teach you how to read rooms too well?
Yes, because
Yeah.
I started being extremely observant of everything around me. Like, even I'm like a s- I'm spiritual, but I'm an empath. So for me, like, I pick up on the energy in the room off rip. Like,
Right.
if I feel like somebody don't like me, I'm gonna be quiet and observe. If I feel like, it's a lot of negative energy in the room, I'm be quiet and
Right.
observe. Like, I'm one of
Yeah.
those people. Like, I'm very observant.
Yeah. 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 No, same with me. Like it helped me to I realized that like a wise man told me, like 99% of human beings act just alike. So when I meet somebody who's when I say like a bully, like they all have similar traits.
Mhm.
And I came across bullies as I got older. Past managers, co-workers. So they all got
Mhm.
similar traits. So that helped me to identify, helped me to deal with them. And also, like I said, it helped me to develop thick skin as well. You
Mhm.
know, yeah, that's one thing I can say about me getting talked about a lot. That certain shit don't really bother me if someone comes to me and give me criticism. Rather, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And like, what I want to ask you is like, how did you overcome the psychological effects of bullying as a adult?
Oh, self-love. I had to, and I'm finna cry. Whoo, I had to learn how to love myself.
Yeah.
I hated myself. Like, I tell
Mm,
people a lot, like, I used to look in the mirror and just be like, I hate you. And I used
mm,
to cry a lot. Like, I've been through so much shit in my life. So for me, like,
yeah.
I had to learn how to love me for me. Like, I had to really, like, sit down and look at every aspect of myself from the good, what I felt like was bad, which ain't really bad, you feel me?
I get what you're saying. Yeah.
I had to look at all of that for me to fully understand, like, you can't let this shit break you.
Mhm.
People are intricately put into your life to fuck with you. Like, they
Yeah.
literally they put you in situations, and most high put you in situations to test your character, to see if you gonna break or see if you gonna fold. Like, people always say, God don't put more on you than you can bear.
Right.
And it's true because, you know, we go through so much in life, and we sometimes we just feel like we can't find a way, or
Yeah.
sometimes we feel like, this the end all be all, and it really don't. It's a test. It's a test of your character. Are you gonna go through this shit and turn into a bad guy, or you gonna go through this shit and turn out on top? Like,
Right.
are you gonna find the light in everything? Like, I feel like it's
Hmm.
important to find the light in every bad thing. That's why duality is important, because sometimes what you think may be good might not be good for you. And what you
Right.
think is bad, it ends up turning up to be good.
I agree. I agree. And I can relate to that because like as I got older, what helped me to overcome from a psychological standpoint, like you said, just loving on myself. Because sometimes, like, I don't know if you ever experience this, but sometimes you get into relationships with other people. It kind of help you to identify like your own insecurities and things that you never really pay attention to, and then the
Yeah.
things that I was paying the things that I was insecure about. I'm like, damn, that's what I was used to get bullied about. You know what I'm saying? My self confidence, stuff like that. And
Mhm.
you know, and when you dealing with somebody who's other words, who's a unhealed individual, they kind of help you to identify some things about yourself that you used to get bullied about, and help you to learn how to self love. Because like when I was dealing with certain women, like it helped me to like identify my own personal issues where I'm thinking like, damn, I remember I had this problem since I was a kid, and me having this problem as a kid, this is what I used to get bullied about. So now I'm like, it helped me to identify. And but yeah, that part I can definitely relate. And you know, that's something I'm still had to overcome, that I'm still overcoming, I should say. Like even doing this podcast, like
Mhm.
shit, I'm like, damn, I got my own insecurities why I didn't want to look in front of a camera. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
the more I'm doing this, like I'm being more comfortable, and like I said, just building my confidence. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And what I want to ask you is too, like somebody out there, a younger version of you, that's someone may be having a hard time of accepting of being bullied as a child, and they still probably be mad about it as a adult. What's your message to them to help them to accept what happened?
So my message would be, fuck 'em.
I
You
heard
know?
that.
Fuck them. God
Yeah.
didn't make us the same. Like, we're not all supposed to be the fucking same. Like, that made me think about, Fairly Odd Parents with Timmy Turner when he had
Right.
ended up going through when they had changed the whole he wished that everybody was the same and everybody was blobs, and he really like, you literally couldn't recognize who was who. Like, the only way they recognized Timmy was because he had on that fucking hat.
Mhm.
Like, we are made uniquely different for a reason. Like, we're not supposed to be the same. Like,
Right.
so whatever you don't like about yourself, God gave you that for a reason. God
Yeah.
made you this way for you to be different. Like, we're not supposed to be the same. We're not supposed to work off the same thought process, and we're not supposed to do that.
I agree.
It's not meant for us. We all supposed to be uniquely different, uniquely ourselves. Like, you gotta get in where you fit in.
I
And even
agree.
if you don't fucking fit in, fuck it. Make your
For
own
real.
lane for yourself. Like, push and be you. Like, don't
Right.
ever, ever, ever let anyone in this world, anybody in this world, tear you down, make you feel like you ain't nothing, because you're
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
You're
I
something.
agree. I agree. And I also wanna add in too, like, you know, not only we not made the same, we also think differently too.
Mhm.
So, you know, we all unique in our own way, and gotta embrace that. And I believe that it can help a person to accept what happened. And more importantly, those bullies, man, that's how they feel about themselves. If you in a bad relationship, or or I don't care if it's a relationship romantically with your
Mhm.
parents, with a friendship, whoever, if the relationship was sour because of how that person feel about themselves. And I believe that once we start looking at it at that point of view,
Mhm.
things will be a lot better, and it'll help you to accept. It doesn't change, it
Mhm.
might not change how you feel, but it's easy to accept the
Mhm.
situation. So yeah. So to pivot, one of the things you shared with me, you said at 16, um, you lied about your age with an adult,
Mhm.
but later realized it felt like it was like sexual assault.
Mhm.
How do you understand that now?
Um, so I when it happened to me when I was younger, I really I didn't understand what the fuck was going on, because at that point, I kinda looked at it like I did it to myself. Like, I'm a blamer and I'm a criticizer. I criticize myself more than anybody. Like,
Yeah, same here.
in my mind, like, I be thinking of the worst shit that people can say to me before they even say it to me. And they might nobody might not say anything to me bad, but in my mind,
Yeah,
I'm like, okay, they could say XYZ and feel this type of way or whatnot. And that's just what it was. So for me, when I was younger, like I remember the first person I told about the story. It was this random ass dude I met through a friend of mine, my homeboy. He's like my brother, he's one of my best friends. And I remember I told his homeboy about the situation, and I've never met this man a day in my life. Like this man was literally from Florida, from Florida,
mhm,
and he met this dude playing the game, like playing the game system. And we
yeah,
was all on the phone. We used to do three-way a lot when we was younger. So, well, it was more than us. Like we used to have at least 10 people on the phone. Like it was a bunch of us. I had a huge friend group when I was younger. But I can remember me and the dude talking, and we talking like separately, and he was like, you were taken advantage of, right? And I was like, really? I was so like, I ain't never really think about it. And at that point, I ain't want to tell no fucking body. I really like I kept it to myself. I literally said that I was gonna take it to my grave because I was embarrassed. Like I was
yeah,
like, damn, like I'm young as hell. I done did this shit. And it's just like it
right,
was a lot. It was a lot to process. So as I got older and I started my healing journey, I started my spiritual journey. And one thing about spiritual journey that people do not understand, and a lot of people, and I don't mean to jump but whatever, but
right,
one thing that people do not understand about being on your spiritual journey is you do your shadow work first. And sometimes it don't stop. It keep coming until you bring up every emotion that you've been through in your life and you process all the pain that you've been through in your life.
yeah, I agree with that.
So when I started my spiritual journey, um it was a lot that I had to process. Like,
Yeah,
literally, I feel like that situation was the last thing because completely, when I tell you that shit was in the so far in the back of my mind
right.
that I literally forgot about it. Like,
So,
I stopped thinking about it.
so people that's listening, to give more details of the situation, you had lied your age with the adult
Mhm.
that end up being in a y'all you like a on y'all end up having sex, basically. I was trying to think of a
Right.
different word.
So basically, what happened was, I was 16. I lied. I said I was
Yeah.
17.
Yeah, so that's
And,
why I wanna ask you that. What made you lie your age?
trying to be grown, trying to be
Okay,
older than what I really was, and
okay.
trying to just be an adult. I was you know how when you're young and you're just tired of being like, and I realized I'm an old soul. So it made sense for me.
Yeah,
Plus, I've been driving since I was younger. So I
yeah,
was already kind of out doing what I want to do anyways. So for me, when I lied about my age, I was trying to be grown, and I
okay.
was trying to be an adult, and, I ended up putting myself in a situation that really fucked with me. It fucked with my character, it fucked with how I looked at things and how I looked at myself, like, it made it worse for me. I had already not really I already was hating myself when I was younger, but, that moment really made me like, you're an embarrassment, like
Yeah, I
I looked at
understand.
myself like you are an embarrassment.
So I wanna ask, so did he knew? So what, okay, well, of all ages, why 17? Why didn't you say 18? What made you say 17?
So for me, like when it came to lying about my age, I didn't want to overdo it,
Oh,
because
okay.
for me in my thought process at that age, I'm like, shit, if I'm 16 and I say I'm 17, I can maneuver,
Yeah,
like that. But if I'm 16 and I say I'm like 19 or 20, that's a lot to like really lie about. Like,
Right.
that's a lot to maneuver, and I'm not a liar. Like at that now, you of course you're gonna say you a
I get what
liar
you're
because you
saying.
lied
I
about
get what
your
you're saying.
age.
No, I get
But
no,
I'm
no,
not
no.
one of those like who like base my life on being a liar. Like I
Got you,
literally
got
I like living in truth. Like
you. Yeah,
I like
and
living
how
it.
old was he? If you remember.
23.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. Yeah, I believe he, in my opinion, I mean, you would know somebody underage.
Yeah, you would. And at that point in time, like I told him I was 17. And at that point in time, I had a car, so I don't even wanna give nobody the benefit of the doubt because it's fuck 'em for real. But, it was I looked older for my age for the most part. I could understand why somebody would be confused a little bit, but at the same time, as a grown person, you can tell from a motherfucker mind frame how old they are. Like if you sit down
Yeah.
and actually talk with a person. But honestly, I don't feel like he even was even looking that deep into it. Like I really felt like it was one of them situations like, oh, I got me a little young little
Right.
tenderoni,
Yeah.
like it is what it is.
Yeah.
So we didn't really like he didn't pick my brain before we actually like a little bit, but not enough to like understand that I was not of age. And on top of that, I'm an old soul. So, but
Yeah.
like I said, it's fuck 'em. I'm not trying to make an excuse, but
Yeah.
he didn't pick my brain enough.
So did he find out later on down the line you was underage, or he still don't never knew?
No. I after that situation happened, I literally like I stepped back from a lot of shit. After that situation happened, like I fell into a heavy, heavy, heavy depression.
Okay.
Um, I would go out, but like I said, I had a car, so shoot. It was times where I just go and just ride anywhere, like anywhere. I used to drive everywhere, like literally different states and just drive. Like
Oh, okay.
I
Okay.
yeah, I backed up.
Yeah, I wanna ask, so, like, where were your parents at? Cause somebody yeah, that's what I wanna know. Where your mom and daddy was at when all this was going on?
So my dad has never really been in my life. My
Oh,
dad was
okay.
my bully. He was a bully of mine. My dad used to pick about my weight a lot when I was younger.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
and my dad was the type of person he called every blue moon, but every blue moon, you best to believe it'll be something about my weight.
Mm,
Every blue moon, Christmas, birthdays, just randomly, hey, I'm just checking on you. It's gonna be something about me that.
okay.
Now, as far as for with my parents, I love my parents. I don't know if they're gonna see this shit or not, but my parents, they went through their own shit. Um, they both had healing that they need to do within
Yeah.
themselves. Like my dad, he grew up without his parents. Both of his parents died when he was 16. Both of his parents died. Maybe younger, possibly. But,
Yeah.
he grew up with his siblings. My mom, she grew up in a big family, but, my mom went through a lot with my dad.
Okay.
So for her, I tell people all the time, my parents were more focused on their new relationships than they were on their kids.
Yeah.
My dad, when he left my mom, when they got a divorce, he got married to somebody quickly. When my mom left my dad, she got into a relationship with somebody fairly quickly as well. So their main focus was they partners. They weren't really too focused on building a relationship with their kids in a sense. Like they were really my mom always felt like, I got a roof over your head, I got food in here for you to eat. Get the
Yeah.
fuck on type shit.
Yeah.
And it was
Yeah, do you
okay. It's cool, but
yeah. Yeah, that's pretty common, in
Mhm.
households, unfortunately, when parents be so trapped in their own world, they not even focusing on the kids. That
Mhm.
was like that with me. My parents was married. They got a divorce when I was like in they supposed to been got the divorce, but the divorce was finalized when I was in a senior in high school. But get to the point, like my parents were so wrapped up in their own world where shit, my sister got pregnant at a young age. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Um, you know, shit, we had to attend to our own selves while my dad at work, my mom running the streets. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's just like that shit it does something to a kid when you're not
Mhm.
fully invested into them and not paying attention to where they doing all type of crazy shit. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So with you in your situation, I'm not gonna lie, like I believe there's a lot of kids that do a lot of crazy shit because of their parents wasn't involved, not really paying attention, asking them where they're going, asking what they were
Mhm.
about, stuff like that. And
Mhm.
what I want to ask you is like, as you know, when you sharing with people about the situation, like, hey, I feel like, well, no, let me ask you this:
Mhm. I'm sure.
when you realize, like, damn, okay, I feel like I was taken advantage of. Have you shared with other people, and if so, how did they respond to it?
So I started sharing this shit with people literally when we had our conversation or whatever previously, that's when I started sharing it with people. Like I said, I put that shit to the back of my brain for years and I'm 31 now. And that shit happened when I was 16, 15 years. I put that shit to the back of my brain. Like I didn't want to think about it. But when I did finally share it, which I did share it on TikTok recently because I feel like the Most High had called me to do that because it's people out here who needed to hear that.
Yeah,
Um, but when I said it, when I I was shitting bricks. I'm not gonna lie. Like I
yeah,
was nervous because, like I said, I'm my biggest critic. Like in my mind, the only thing I kept thinking about was, oh my gosh, what the fuck are people gonna say? You know, how are people gonna feel? You know, are people gonna judge me? Are people gonna talk shit about me? You
right.
know, I don't like putting myself out there. I'm very closed off. Like I don't talk about nothing with anybody because I've been through situations where you talk about something and people turn around and talk shit about you.
Yeah,
So, and these were people that were close to me, like family, literally family and friends and people that I've been through so much, so many psychological attacks when I was younger. So for me, it was like, ah, like,
right,
but I received so much love. And when I tell you it was so much love and so many people understood and so many people, it was people in my life that were my friends, my homegirls, who done went through similar situations and they haven't told anybody about it. Like they literally on the type of time I'm on. I'm taking this shit to the grave. I'm not gonna say anything. So when I came out, you know, I was just trying to when I came out and I started talking about it, I received so much love. I received so many people understanding where I was coming from, that
right.
done been through the same shit. Like,
So basically, feel like a big burden off your shoulders.
yes, it was a big relief. Like, I literally cried so much before this interview. I'm not gonna hold you. I
That's
cried so
good.
much before this interview because I wasn't ready for this. Like, I wasn't ready to talk about something like this at
So,
all. And
so,
God made me.
so that was your first time having sex?
No, it wasn't my first time having sex.
Okay, okay, okay. My bad. Continue.
I was sexually active, but I wasn't the type of person that was always fucking. You know,
Okay,
I was very much like conservative. Like I was very conservative.
okay.
Um, so yeah.
So, so like, I want to ask you this. So, when people hear this, like, okay, this girl, that's okay. Let me say it this way. Let's say a person hearing you, like, okay, you lie your age to have sex with an adult, right? But then
Mhm.
they might put the blame on you. So, why do people focus more on the lie than the age difference?
Shoot. I put the blame on myself. you know?
Oh,
But I feel like people focus more on the lie. Honestly, I really
Because some people gonna, because you know, before you answer, to give you more better details, because some people may be like, oh well, this individual knew what they was doing, but it's just like, yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, but then then again, it's just like that mind wasn't fully developed. Like who's not gonna lie their age? Like let's say the roles reverse. If a 16-year-old, if a 16-year-old boy can lie to have sex with a adult woman, he's gonna do the same thing.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So it's just like, yeah. So my point I'm saying is that like some people be more focused on the lie than than the actual age difference, and not looking at like, okay, did this person know about
Mm,
it? Did this person that person must have had an idea. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
right. So for me, what I want people to realize is just because you lie about something so small, well, I can't even say it's small because it's big to someone. You feel me? It
Yeah.
was big for me because I lied and I ended up getting myself in a situation that I was not ready for,
Hmm.
or prepared to even, like even go through. Like for me mentally, I'm thinking it's one thing, but it really turned into something more. And I honestly don't know why people focus on the lie. I feel like people try to find people try to make things make sense. You know,
Yeah.
people are so, I don't want to say scientific, but people are so like black and white, you know? Like they want shit to make sense. They want to answer for it. They want to be able to say, "Oh, well this happened, so that's why that happened," type thing. So I feel like they focus on the aspect where I fucked up, which I've already, taken my blame, or taken my accountability for it. But
Right.
it's like, just because I lied about my age, even or anything like that, it doesn't take away from the fact of what another person did, or
All right.
what the next person did to harm, or whatever the case may be.
I get it. I get it. Because at the end of the day, like if somebody is judging you, like I don't care what. We at one point did something very crazy when we was teenagers.
Absolutely.
Whether you did it behind closed doors or publicly. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
We all not perfect. So but yeah, yeah, yeah. Because what you did, honestly, I think a lot of teenagers would have done that, especially if you're not being watched. You know what I'm saying? We human. Our mind get the, you know what I'm saying? Curiosity kicks in.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, yeah, yeah. So how did that experience shape your relationship with sex afterwards?
So for me, for me, how did it really change?
Or did it change? Or may not change? It may not have changed.
It changed in a certain aspect. For me, I calmed down a lot. For me, it made me take a step back and look at a lot of shit in
Okay.
perspective. Um, I started being very, 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 very particular about who I gave my energy to,
Okay.
who I entertained and things like that. Now I'm a friendly person. I'm always been that way, but it made me it made me very careful about who I gave my energy to. Like,
Yeah.
for me, it made me like really look at people differently, because it made me realize people don't give a fuck about you.
Yeah.
You got to give a fuck about you.
I agree with that.
So it just kind of made me observe more and take more in, and look at shit for what it really was. Like, it really made me grow up a lot. I wanted to be grown, and I'm hearing this. I wanted to be grown, and it made me sit back and act like an adult for real. Like, it made
Right.
me analyze a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you're right. All right. And this my couple of last questions before we wrap it up.
Mhm,
So somebody that listening, right? What would
mhm.
you say to someone that says, "Well, but you lied though. You put yourself in this situation. It's your fault."
I would say I understand that. I take accountability for that. Like, there's not a point in my life where I haven't taken accountability. That's why I didn't wanna talk about it,
Yeah.
because I blame myself the entire time up until now. Like, I blame myself because I did lie. I did, come up with some shit. I did come up with my age and do this shit just to be grown. I did that. I can take
Right.
accountability for that.
Yeah.
So there's nothing to say. I
Right.
can't be mad about somebody else feel
That's
because
opinions. Yeah.
like I said, I've criticized myself so much. I've sat on this for 15 years
Hey, damn.
and I already know I fucked up. I know where my mistake was made. You know what I'm saying?
Did you share that with your mom?
No. No.
Nah, you're not gonna do that.
I could, but I feel like
Y'all might not got that type of relationship.
we don't, not necessarily, and,
Okay.
I don't feel like that's gonna change anything. If anything, that's gonna, make a person feel sorry for me. I don't want nobody to feel sorry for me. I just wanted to speak my truth, you know what I'm saying? Because it's people out here who done went through the same thing that I done went
Right.
through. If not the same thing, remotely close. And they probably going through the same thoughts as me, like, "Oh, you lied, you did all this." You know what I'm saying? So I I didn't tell my mom because it's not I don't want to relive something and feel a emotion that I don't feel anymore. I
I get it.
overcame it, I've grown from it,
Yeah, I
you
get it.
know, and I feel like telling her would kind of bring it back in of course she's gonna hear about it. And I'm probably sure she probably done heard about it because I talked to my sister about it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
But
she has.
yeah, but
Y'all
I'm
gonna have that
not gonna
conversation though.
huh?
So y'all gonna have that conversation.
I feel like it. And
Yeah,
it's
because
okay.
yeah. And honestly, like, man, you'll be surprised how the outcome might not be what you think.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Because it can be a negative and also can be a positive, but you be very surprised. And just because your mom might shown you that she was sorry, she might be doing it because of, she might look at herself like, damn, where I was at, or you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Because one thing I learned about parents is that, you can relate to this. I know you're not a parent, but the older you get, you start realizing some things. You
Mhm.
start kind of like, you know what I'm saying? So you kind of realize if you was a good parent or a bad parent. So
Mhm.
sometimes like a parent might try to make up for the shit they didn't do when you was younger.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't know how your mom is now. So if she is showing you that she was sorry, that might not be it maybe it's her way of showing like, damn, I fucked up. Maybe I could have done things differently.
Mhm.
So yeah. And I want to ask you this too, like, by you being at that time, how can I say ask you this? I know how. So I always used to be one of those big critics of women who was fast at a young age. But a lot of people are judgmental, not understanding their behavior, right?
Mhm.
So by
Mhm.
you, experiencing that a little bit, like, why do you believe young women who's 15, 16 try to be like adults and do adult things like having sex and doing things they shouldn't be doing?
Because they weren't seen. They weren't heard. They weren't paid attention to.
Mm,
I feel like a lot of being young and doing shit like that, like it goes from lack of self-worth, lack
right.
of, understanding that you got people who love you in your corner. And it may not be your parents, it may be angels, it may be, it- of course it's angels and of course God. But
Yeah.
young, you don't see that. Like when you young, you really don't see no shit like that unless, you grow up in the church and you just seeing that. But honestly, like not being seen or heard,
Yeah.
feeling like a outcast in a sense of, wanting to be, paid attention to.
Right.
So I feel like a lot of times that affects how, and it's not may not be for every woman because a lot of people can go through life and not be seen or heard and don't act out in that certain way, but some people do.
Yeah, some people
You
got their
know?
own way of showing it though. Like
Yeah,
you said,
exactly.
we all made differently, we all think differently. So what do
Mhm.
you wish that more people can understand about those type of people who make those type of decisions, who do things to be seen.
Um,
'Cause a lot of people be so judgmental instead of asking questions and trying to be understanding.
yeah. I feel like ask that question one more time.
So basically, what I'm asking you is that like there's some people who are judgmental when they see like a young woman who acting out, being fast, I should say, and
Mhm,
a lot of people be judging, like, oh, she, all the different type of labels. What
mhm.
like what you think people can do better to have an understanding? So what do you think people can do better to have understanding without judging?
I feel like people should have more grace. I feel like people shouldn't be quick to point the finger, and I feel like people should look at perspective. You
Right.
know, everybody has different perspectives of their life. And I feel like if a lot of us would, you know, get out of that ego state of mind
Yeah.
and drop down and be more humble and sit back and like really like understand other people's perspectives, you'll have a lot more grace because people go through a lot of shit in life.
Yeah.
And we touch bases on a little bit of shit in my life, but it's like a cycle.
Yeah.
So people should really like look at shit in other people's perspectives. Try to
Yeah.
understand where other people are coming from because you don't know what the fuck kind of shit people have been going through. Generational curses are real.
Not
You
for
know what
real.
I'm saying? Like stuff be passed down the line.
Hmm.
Emotions, feelings, like even when you in the womb with your mom, like and your mom going through shit while she's pregnant with you, like that shit passes down.
I agree.
And you pick up on all this stuff and it's people should have more grace because you don't
Yeah.
understand what people go through. You don't understand the hurt, the pain, what people had to do to get to the top. Like shit is real.
Yeah, and everybody got their own way on how to handle things, and that's a problem with
Mhm,
people. They be very opinionated, where, well, they should have do it
mhm.
like how. No, they'll be opinionated and be like they should have done it this way. And for one, you might not never experienced that before, and for two,
Yeah.
and if you did experience it, it's not easy as it was for you. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't have that self awareness. So what is it for you may be
Mhm,
extremely hard for somebody else. And it's go back to what you said. It's important to have that grace, and I agree 100% on that.
mhm.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah,
putting yourself in other people's shoes. Like if you
right.
walked a mile in my shoes, would you be able to come out on top like I did?
Not
And
so
some
they
people
wouldn't.
can't.
They can. Yeah, I agree. I agree 100%. I agree 100% on that. No, that's a gem. And this is my last question. So, how have music and your spiritual journey helped you to overcome these obstacles you face in your life?
So I'm very expressive. And when I walked that walk and I completely, stepped away from what I believed in and started over because for me, I had to start over. Like
Yeah.
I had to make shit make sense for me. So when I started walking that walk and I had to start over from point A and that is what inspired me, like music and writing, like poetry, all of that, like that shit helped me release so much pain. And I've been writing since I
Yeah.
was like in second grade.
Okay.
So that helped me a lot. Like it helped me express myself in ways that I could not express myself to nobody else because I couldn't talk to nobody else. Nobody understood what the fuck I was going through.
Yeah.
I was going through a spiritual battle.
Yeah.
Like people were really trying to break my light. They was trying to dim my light.
Yeah.
So I that it helped me release so much. It helped me write down how I felt, read it out loud because I'm the type of person I write out how I feel and I read it out loud to myself and that's when my emotions start going. It's even been times where I done cried,
Mhm.
writing some of the stuff I done wrote. So it helped me
Yeah.
release a
That's
lot.
good.
Like, yeah.
That's good. That's good. And that's man, that's I'm on a whole spiritual journey myself and
Mhm.
finding things that I love doing to express my emotions and
Mhm,
to learn how to deal with it in a healthy way. Because a lot of people they find distractions to cope with their own personal
mm,
issues. And
mhm.
yeah, so yeah. Well, that's all the questions I have. I want to say thank you. I enjoyed doing this interview because you know this it was fun. You definitely dropping some gems, and I appreciate you taking the time.
I'm happy to be here. I appreciate you for having me. I'm glad I was able to talk about all this shit.
No,
Feel
for
safe.
real. Yeah, man. I think your testimony can help the next person.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, for sure.